सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यं निजान्तर्गतम् पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया वैरिवो भूतं यथा निद्रया। यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयम्। तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः। इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राग्निर्विकल्पं पुनः। तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राग्निर्विकल्पं पुनः। मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतम्। मायावीव विजृम्भयति महा योगी वयस्वेच्छया। योगी वयस्वेच्छया। तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः। इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। Jagat, the world, is Brahmavidyananda. What does the word Vivarta mean? We define the word Vivarta is defined as we saw in the morning, Swarupa Aparityagena Rupantara Apattihi. Apattihi, assuming, taking, gain of Rupantara, another form, that is a form which was not there earlier. By Swarupa Aparityaga. Aparityaga. Parityaga is giving up. Aparityaga without giving up. Without giving up Swarupa, its innate nature, intrinsic nature. That is Vivarta. There are plenty of examples for this Vivarta. Like the dreamer, the conscious being appears as the dreamer. Then there is the example of snake appearing, right, on the rope. Rope without becoming a snake, without changing its nature of rope, appears as a snake to the a person who does not know what is there. Rope with remaining rope appears as a snake. The conscious being remaining so appears as the dreamer, waker, etc. Also our good old examples of water assuming the form of wave without changing its nature. Remaining water, it appears as the wave. There, when the wave manifests, there is no intrinsic change in the Swarupa of water. So, the wave is a Vivarta in water. So too, our Gata example, also the pot, is a Mrit Vivarta. vivarta of mrit. Mritika remaining mrit, clay remaining clay, it takes the form of pot. The pot form which was not there earlier. Right? That is the Rupantara. Now it assumes the form of pot, that is the Rupantara. This is how Srishti is. And there are, that is Upapannam. This, that Jagat, that the world is only a Vivartam, is only an apparent modification, apparent creation, is very, very tenable. It is not an untenable idea, not unknown, no example. Such is not the case. There are plenty of examples, as we have seen some. And it is Upapannam, very tenable. And that is in keeping with the Shruti. The Shruti reveals that the Prapancha is Vacharambanam. The Chandogya Upanishad says Vacharambanam Vikaraha Namadeyam. Mrittika iti eva satyam. Mrittika, the clay alone is the truth of the pot. The pot, the entity, is merely a form, is merely a name. Itself, it is not a vastu, not an object by itself. The content of the pot is only clay. So, that the pot is vacha, vak alambanam, vacharambanam. Namadeyam, it is just a Namadeya, name alone, it's a form alone, that is not content. So, we have plenty of examples, and there is Shruti also, which states that Jagat, which points out that Jagat is Brahma Vivartam only. Also, later on we will see, this is very much keeping with the Purushartha Siddhi. Parama Purushartha Siddhi, namely moksha, right? Moksha, okay? Moksha, like moksha, that is possible only when the Jagat is apparent, not Paramarthika. Alright. We will look into further details. This is a very important question, the true nature, the truth, the reality, the question of reality of this Prapancha and the waker, experiencer. It's very, very important question. As I said earlier, this question is important for Purushartha Siddhi also. Okay? For Purushartha Siddhi also. Now, a question may come. Alright, let the world be Vivarta only, but still it should be real. Vivarta alright, but real. This is the question here. The answer is, any Vivarta is only apparent only, it is not actual. Any Vivarta is only apparent, not actual. Invariably it is that. Then, alright, this snake, appearance of snake, I understand, no problem. Dream, I am familiar with, no problem. I can understand this, but how this Prapancha is a Vivarta of Brahma, this I am not able to comprehend. Right? Snake I can comprehend, rope snake I can comprehend, and dream well known, but then how this world is Vivarta? So that's why the Shruti points out Mayaya in this shloka, Mayaya, by Maya, through the Maya, through the operation of this Maya Shakti alone. And what is this Maya? That is defined Tattva Anyatvabhyam Anirvachaniya. Nirvachaniya is something which can be categorically defined, categorically stated. That is Nirvachaniya. Whereas Maya is Nirvachaniya, cannot be categorically defined in terms of whether it is or it is not. Tattva, and real existent thing. Anyatva, other than what is existing. non-existing. Can we say Maya is existing? We can't say so. Can we say Maya is not existing, non-existent? That also we cannot say. Why we cannot say Maya is non-existent? It is not asat, it is not tucham, okay? It is not non-existent. Why? Because I see the world, because I am there, I the waker, I am there, I am the seer is there, I am the seer, I see, I am there, and the world is very much evident. If Maya were tucham, then Maya karya, Jagat will not be there. Alright, then let Maya be existent, Vastavika, that also is not there, it is not so, because it undergoes negation, sublation. Okay? Bada Yogya Maya is. Like even our pot is Badhyate. Our pot is Badhyate by as clay, right? So in the form of clay, pot undergoes sublation, negation. And rope snake definitely undergoes sublation. The dreamer undergoes negation, sublation. What undergoes Badha cannot be Paramarthika, cannot be Satyam. And therefore, we cannot categorically state whether Maya is or is not. Is in the sense, is it Satyam? No. Is it Tucham? It is non-existent? No. That also we cannot say. Then what is it? Anirvachaniya. Bhavarupa it is called. In the form of that which is seen, that which is experienced, alright, but contentless by itself. In itself, it has no content. That is the Anirvachaniya Maya. Okay. Now, the questioner, okay, the question is there. You say that my position that Jagat is real is not correct, you say, right? And you also said that you cannot explain, that I cannot explain Jagat, the real Srishti, I cannot explain, you said. Okay. Then you must be able to explain. Alright, my Jagat, which is Paramarthika, not tenable. Okay. And I cannot explain real Srishti. Alright. Now, let you explain then. You say Jagat is Vivartam. You explain Srishti. You say Maya. And then I have to know what is Maya. And you say, Anirvachaniya. I can't explain. What is this? That means you also can't explain. Right? What is the difference? I also can't explain. You also can't explain. We are in the same position. They say in the same boat. Okay? We are in the same boat. Okay? Interesting. That's okay. So, what is it that, what is the reason that your position that Prapancha is Vivarta and that Maya is Jagat Karanam, Srishti is Mayika, what is the reason that your position is valid and not mine? Mine is not valid. I say that Jagat is real creation, modification as I say, that is not valid. Why is it so? Right? When you also can't explain Srishti, that's there. Okay? Now, in this matter, let us look into a few contentions with reference to the creation. I wrote a few on the board. Srishti Vishayaka Vadaha. Various positions. Theories, Vada can refer to theory, idea, position with reference to Vishayaka, with reference to Srishti. One is this Arambha Vadaha. Arambha means beginning, begins, a beginning is there. This Arambha Vada says that Jagat was, the Prapancha was totally non-existent and it begins. Right? The Srishti begins. The world begins to exist and it was non-existent before. This is the Arambha Vadaha. and for their in their position, a pot was non-existent before, a table was non-existent before, and a table is seen only when it is made or after it is made. A pot you see only after it is made, or when it is made only you see. Before that you don't see the pot. A child is born, the child did not exist before. It's a new being. A tree comes into being, that was not there at all. Seed was there, yes, but then there was no tree. A non-existent tree comes into existence. This is the Arambha Vadaha. Like that, the Prapancha also was non-existent, totally non-existent, now becomes existent. This is the Srishti. This is the Arambha of the Jagat. Therefore, this is called Arambha Vadaha. The Nayayikas and the Vaisheshika, people who follow the Vaisheshika philosophy idea and the Nyaya idea, Nayayikas and Vaisheshikas hold on to this. Jagat was non-existent, totally non-existent earlier. For that matter, any karyam srishtehe prak na asit, prak abhavaha, the prior non-existence, they say. Prak means prior. Abhava, total non-existence. Before creation, it was not there at all. If it was there, what is the problem? Already there, why should we create? If you say the karya already exists, then why the creation? Why should the potter make a pot? The pot existed already. Okay? You say the karyam, does the karya exist before creation or not? Clear-cut answer. Right? This or that, yes or no. Right? If the pot does not exist before being made, then it comes into being. It is created anew. It was not there, it comes into being. And if you say the pot was already there, why should the kulala worry? Pot is already there. He doesn't have to make a pot. He doesn't have to make any pot for that matter. But then that is not the case. If we say the Prapancha, Jagat existed before creation also, then there is no difference between the moment of creation and before the moment of creation. There is no difference. It is already there. But that is not the case. We do see that pot is made. Pot has to be made. Only then pot comes into being. So too, Jagat cannot be existent before creation. This is the line of their thing. Therefore, the Jagat begins. Jagat arabhyate. Srishtihi arabhyate. And before Srishti, the karya is non-existent. It is not there at all. This is the contention. This is the Arambha Vadaha. Okay. And then there is the second contention called Parinama Vadaha. They say that Karanam Karya Rupena Parinamate. Karana Vastu, the Karana material, Karana Vastu, undergoes a modification to become Karya. So, Jagat, where from Jagat comes? Jagat comes from its own Karana. Whatever be the Karana, you say something is Karana, I say something else is the Karana. Nevertheless, Karana undergoes a Parinama. If the Karana does not undergo any Parinama, modification, change, then there is no difference between the Karana state and the Karya state. Okay? The state of being a Karana and Karana Avastha, right? And Karya Avastha. The Avastha, the state of being in the state of as a Karana and Karya, there has to be a difference, right? The pot maker makes with the clay, yes, and then that clay is subject to some change, modification. If there is no modification, then the pot does not come into being. The pot maker cannot sell a lump of clay, right? No, this is a pot. Buy, this is a pot. He cannot sell a lump of clay. So, the Karana Vastu has to undergo a change. Otherwise, Karana and Karya, the distinction is not there. Therefore, Karana has to undergo a modification, Parinama. That is called Karana. Karya. And therefore, Prapancha also has to undergo a change. The Karana Vastu, the Karana for the Prapancha, has to undergo a change to become Karya, the Prapancha, the world. This is the Parinama Vada. And what is the Karana for this Jagat? People taking to the Sankhya Siddhanta, they say the Maya, they don't use the word Maya, they use Pradhanam. Pradhanam undergoes change. Pradhana is made up of these three gunas, Sattvam, Rajas and Tamas. And these three gunas remaining in balance, in equilibrium, is the Karana state. And the equilibrium undergoes a change, a modification. And then the Karya manifests. So, in the Karana Avastha, the Pradhanam, which is made up of these three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, they are in equilibrium state. When that is altered, then it becomes Prapancha. So, Pradhanam, the Jagat Karanam, according to them, undergoes a Parinama, undergoes a change to become Jagat. Okay? This is how they explain. Okay. There are even though it looks like they are valid, but on further analysis we can find that they don't hold water. Their pot does not hold water. Doesn't stand inquiry at all. Cannot stand. It can be. It's not acceptable at all. Their position is not acceptable. Okay. All right. So then we'll discuss their position little more later. And the third is the Vivartavada, which the Vedanta Shruti talks about. Vivartam. The Shvetashvatara says, Indraha Mayabhihi Pururupaha Iyate. Indraha refers to Lord here, Ishvara here. The word Indra, Veda itself derives that Idam Drashta, Idam Drashta, Idam Drashta. The one who sees this, the seer of all. That Idandra becomes, Idandrashta becomes Idandraha. That Idandraha, Veda itself uses as Indraha. Idamdraha becomes Indraha. Right? The seer of this, the seer of this. Who is the seer of all this? That is the consciousness, Chaitanya, which is Ishvara. So Ishvara is referred to as Indraha. Indra is not merely the Devaraja. Indra is Devaraja. Indra became reduced, or Indra is used to Devaraja in the Puranas. Veda uses Indra, the word Indra, to refer to Ishvara only. It refers to Ishvara. In most of the places, particularly in the Mantra Bhagas, Indra refers to Ishvara in many places. Alright. So Indraha Pururupaha Iyate gets, assumes. Pururupaha. Puru means Bahu. Bahurupaha. Indra assumes many forms. Through what? Maya Bihi. Through the Maya, the various aspects of Maya, one Ishvara assumes many forms. It is mentioned. So remaining one assumes many forms. Ekaha Devaha Sarva Bhuteshu Gudaha, etc. We see in the Kathopanishad also. So, whenever it comes to Ishvara, it says one only, and then it also says that it assumes, Ishvara assumes many forms. Alright. In Kathopanishad further we see, like Yatha Ravihi, Sarvalokasya Chakshuhu, etc. is the reference is there. Yatha Vayuhu Bhuvanam Pravishtaha, etc. Another example, like Vayu remaining one, assumes many forms. Like Surya remaining one, assuming many forms. Ishvara also remains one, assumes many forms. One cannot become many, retaining the form. That means the manyness is only apparent. Therefore, the Upanishad very clearly present the Vivartavada. And the famous Vacharambana Shruti very clearly points out, Mrittika iti eva satyam sadeva soumya idam agra asit ekameva advitiyam. And then Tat, Aikshata, etc. It saw, it created, became many, assumed many forms. Namarupe Vyakaravani may manifest Namarupas. Chandogya very clearly says. So, the Prapancha is Brahma Vivartam. This is the Vivartavada. What is the speciality in the Vivartavada? The Karanavastu does not undergo Swarupa change. Right? Brahma, remaining Brahma, appears as the Nana Rupa Jagat. Atma, remaining Atma, appears as the many Jivas, as the Jiva. Okay. So, therefore, there is no loss of Swarupa for Atma, for Brahma, and therefore it can be known. It can be known, and one can discover the satisfaction, the fullness in the light of the truth, right? And therefore one can live in fullness. Therefore the Purushartha Siddhi is possible only when the Prapancha is understood as Vivarta. Ishvara is not a Vikari, Brahma is not Vikari, Atma never becomes away from, other than Ishvara. Brahma, Atma hi Brahma, and therefore on understanding the true nature of the individual and also the Prapancha, one can discover the oneness of oneself with the total, with the cause. Jiva, Brahma Aikya is possible, and that is Jnanam, and that Jnana makes one free, gains moksha. Therefore, Purushartha Siddhi is possible also. And the Vivarta is tenable. That the Prapancha Vivarta is tenable also. Alright? So, this is the Vivartavada in the Upanishads. This very same various contentions are also looked in this other way. One is the Asatkaryavada, the other is Satkaryavada. The Asatkaryavada holds that Karya is Asat. Karyam Asat. When Srishtehe Prak. Before Srishti, Karyam did not exist. Does not exist. This is Asatkaryavada. Satkaryavada on the other hand says Karyam Sat. Right? Karyam is there. It is not total non-existence. Karyam is there. When not after Srishti, before Srishti also Karyam Asit. Alright? So the Satkaryavada holds that Karyam Asit Srishtehe Prak also. And the Asatkaryavada holds that Srishtehe Prak Karyam Asat. The key is in, right, the meaning of the word Asat here. What do you mean by Asat? What do you mean by Sat? That is the difference here. Alright. Now, who say that who hold on to Asat Karyavada? Bauddhas hold on to Asat Karyavada. They say that Karyam na asit. Karyam was not there. Alright. Then Karyam was not there. When? For now, before Srishti, Karyam na asit. Before Srishti, Karyam is not there. Then what was there? Karanam was there? No. Karanam also na asti. Karanam also is not there. Right? The Buddhas hold that there is no Karanavastu, there is no Karyam also. What is then? There is nothing. Shunyameva asti. Before also, now also, Shunyam alone is there. The Buddhas, Sarva Shunyavada, they hold on to. Everything is Sarvam Shunyam only. This is the fundamental position of all Buddha. They have their various denominations. Of all the denominations, Sarvam Shunyam. Not only Karyam Asat, Karanam also Asat. There is no Karanam also. There is only you think. You see it is there. There is only Vijnana. You think it is there. So, you are there, your thinker is there, the thought is there. So, as the thinker arises, the thought also arises. That there is a world is only a Vijnana. There is only a Kshanika Vijnana, a momentary cognition. Momentary cognition alone. There is only Kshanika Vijnanam. In fact, they don't explain how this Kshanika Vijnana comes into being. They don't explain. When Karana also is non-existent, then where from this Kshanika Vijnana come? Where from it comes? No explanation. No, not acceptable, no explanation at all. Where from this Kshanika comes? You follow? Even for the Kshanika to manifest, Kshanika Vijnana to momentary consciousness to manifest, there has to be some entity in which this Vijnana manifests. Nothing. How this Kshanika Vijnana comes into being? No explanation. And yet they, as if they propound a theory, there is everything is Kshanika Vijnana only, momentary flicker of consciousness. Like in the strobe light we have, no? Click. And then if the rate of flicking of the light is very fast, it may look that it's a continuous light. Our tube light flickers 50 times per second. If you take a high-speed camera, take a photograph and then play it in a slow speed, we'll see that tube light off, on, off, on, off, on. It goes on like this. Totally not off, but dim, very dim, and then bright. Dim, bright. We don't see it because that is the limitation of the eyes. The eyes cannot distinguish more than 20 seconds, 20 cycles per second. It cannot. To 50 cycles per second, right? It cannot see that. So like that, the Vijnana, the momentary consciousness which rises, dies, comes, goes. It happens so fast that it looks like a continuous consciousness. In reality, it is not a continuous consciousness. It is only momentary consciousness. Comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes. This is the Kshanika Vijnana Vada. A lot of questions remain unanswered, unanswerable. Cannot answer this question. So, the Buddhists hold that, all of them hold that everything is Shunyam. There is the Asatkarya Vada. Now also there is no Prapancha. There is no you. You are not there. Okay? You think you are there. You are not there. You are not there. The world is not there. The world you think you see you are sitting on a chair. You are holding something very solid, okay. It's only a vijnana. There is no object, there is no subject, there is nothing. Asatkarya vada. Then there is another type of asatkarya vada, that is held by the Vaisheshikas and Nayayikas, which they say that karyam does not exist before creation. The karyam is non-existent before creation. Now it exists. After creation the karya exists. But before creation the karya does not exist. The karana material exists but not the karya. So the karyam is totally non-existent. For them, Nayayika and Vaisheshika, Gata, the karya, is a totally a different entity from the clay lump. Okay? The clay lump is a distinct entity, totally a distinct, different entity, and the pot which is made out of the lump of clay is totally a different entity. Right? Mrit is different, clay is different. It's a Gataha. Gataha is a distinct entity according to the Nayayika and Vaisheshika. Karyam Karanat Bhinnam. Yes, it is a distinct entity. Comes into being, which is not there earlier at all. This is their position. Alright. So, Karyam na asit. There was no Karyam at all before creation. This is the Asatkarya Vada according to the Nayayikas and Vaisheshikas. What is the Satkarya Vada? The Sankhyas hold that Karyam, right, was in the form of the Karana Vastu. Clay, the pot before being made is in the form of clay. There is clay. Karana Vastu Asti. And the Gata, as clay, it was there. It was there earlier also. It is not from a total non-existence Gata comes into existence, but it comes from an existent clay. Right? And there is a connection between Gata and the clay. So, Gataha, before being made, it is in the form of clay. It is there. Therefore, the karyam is Sat. But Karana Rupena, it is Sat. Sat Karyavada. And not only that, Gata also is Sat. Okay? Meaning, Gata also is real, as real as the clay. Meaning, again, there is distinction. Gata is real, clay also is real. Karanam is real, Karya also is equally real, according to Sankhya's. When you say Gata also is real, meaning that it is a distinct entity again, right? Karana is real, Karyam also is equally real, Satkarya. Upanishad, Vedanta, we also say Satkarya, but the meaning of Satkarya is different. Okay? Karyam, Sat. Before creation, it is in the form of Karana. Karana Atmana, Karana Rupena, Karyam Asit is there. Okay? Only the difference between the difference between Sankhya's principle idea and Vedanta is that the Sankhya holds that the Karyam also is as real as the Karana. Right? The Karyam is as real as the Karana. Whereas in Vedanta we say that Karyam is a dependent entity. Karanat Abhinnam Karyam. The pot is not independent of clay. Pot is dependent on clay alone. And in fact, what we call as Karyam is only a Namarupa. Karyam is not a Swatantra Vastu, not a Bhinna Vastu. It is only Karana assuming a Rupantara. Right? Karanavastu, the clay, assumes a form, the form of pot. So, the Karya is Sat before creation in the form of Karanavastu. And this Karya, after being made, is not different from Karanavastu. It is Abhinnam only. Like even the pot is non-different from clay. Okay? Clay is the Vastu, pot is only Namarupa. This is our position, Satkarya Vada. Okay? These are the brief some positions with reference to Srishti Vishayaka Vadaha. You may come across these. You will, if you are not interested now, at some other point of time, this question will pop up. Okay? If this question will pop up. This question may not pop up now. It is still can't, not pop, can't. Okay? It's not popped up yet. Okay? Later on it will pop up. Okay? This question will pop up. And if we are not, we don't have the wherewithal to look at this, then we will nod our head for everything, as Swamiji said, no? Everything seems to be right. Every contention seems to be right. Okay? ABTK, OBTK. Okay? Shunyavada is also right. Nayayika is also right. Sankhya also is right. There's a Yoga also is right. Yoga Shastra is also right. Mimamsaka is right. Charvaka is right. Nastika is right. Everybody is right. What is the problem? Confusion remains. Ignorance remains. Confusion remains. So, we need to see. We expose, right? We expose ourselves to various contentions, and we look into them, and we see that whether they are correct. If they are correct, then we are going to accept it. If it is not correct, we are open enough not to accept it. That's all. So we need to see. This is all mananam. Okay. Swamiji, remember Swamiji explained mananam. Okay. See the fallacies, the incongruities, right, in the various contentions. If something is incorrect, it is incorrect, that's all. If it is wrong, it is wrong, full stop. We don't have to be compassionate in the matter of understanding truth. In the matter of opinions, yes. People are free to hold their opinions, yes. But when it comes to understanding the truth, what is real, there is no room for compassion here. Compassion has room elsewhere. You like green, you like blue, okay, I like white, okay, no problem. There is enough room for scope for accommodation in the matter of opinions. But if it comes to fact, we should not be complacent. We should not think that every opinion is good, is right. Okay? An arithmetic teacher, as a teacher and as a student of arithmetic, cannot afford to take, right, for 1 plus 1, 2 is the right answer. Arithmetic, not the 1 plus 1 is 11 answer, etc. Not that. Okay. That's from a different stand. That's not arithmetic. So arithmetic teacher and arithmetic student, for them there is only one right answer. Cannot say, no, I am very large-hearted, I am very compassionate. You say 5, right. 1 plus 1 is 7, okay, right. Another person says 0, no, right. Everybody is right. Okay. That's not arithmetic. Okay. That's why we have to see the distinction between knowledge and opinion. Truth and a standpoint. We have to see the distinction between these two. We cannot afford to be accommodative of incomplete, incorrect facts. Okay? What is wrong? We cannot be accommodative of what is wrong. So see the fallacies in the various arguments, various positions, so that it is necessary for us to understand what is the wrong answer, so that we know for sure that this and this alone is the right answer. Like in arithmetic, 1 plus 1, 2 alone is the right answer. For that I know that all other answers are not correct, simply not correct. Therefore, even if we have an idea about this, even if we are thinking through this, or even if we don't know about this, later on these questions are going to manifest. We will have to see these questions for ourselves. Every one of us has to go through this question and discover the answer for it. It's not that we ourselves invent. The answer is there. It's not that 1 plus 1 somebody discovers anew. It is there. It is for us to discover the correct answer. Okay? So we have to look into this. This is a time when we equip ourselves for proper analysis, proper reasoning, so that, and also the adequate methods of reasoning also, so that we can arrive at, we can accept what is right. So, and we don't accept what is not correct. Alright. So, the various vadas, okay. At some time or other, you will come across this, okay. You will come across these questions. Even if it is not your question, it may be somebody's question, and that somebody will put the question to you, and then you will start nodding. Right? We have to know the distinction between a standpoint and a truth. Okay, we know to know the distinction. We can accommodate standpoints, perspectives, views. Yes, we can accept views, but a view does not count for truth. Need not count for truth. As we know, the sun looks small. Yes, it's valid. It's a valid view. It is not incorrect. It is valid. Yes, incorrect means it is not totally wrong. It is valid. From looking at a distance, sun will look small, does look small, but then it is correct. Sun looks small is correct, but to conclude that sun is small is a problem. Our problem lies in these incorrect conclusions. Without vichara, we jump into a conclusion, right? We take a standpoint for a truth. That is a problem. Dvaita as a viewpoint we accept, but as truth we don't accept. We just don't accept. No. Clear no. As a viewpoint, yes. Look at the standpoint of me, the individual. I am an individual. It's a standpoint. From the standpoint of me, the individual, you are all different. Valid viewpoint, valid standpoint. But does it mean that the duality is real? No, it is not. Okay, right? Therefore, it is all part of mananam. What we are doing now is mananam, part of this mananam. We have to equip ourselves with enough methodology, enough reasoning methods to reason through. Alright. So that's why, as part of this vada, I thought I could mention this here. Alright. More here. The shloka here presents the position of the Shruti. The Shruti, how it presents the truth. Bijasya antaha iva ankuraha, etc. It comes. There is more discussion. when we say the Srishti is Vivarta, it is not that we want to establish, we want to prove that we are one-up, okay? One-upmanship is not the issue. I am better than you. I have better logic than you. My position is higher than yours. I am better than you. I am holier than thou, they say. That is not at all that's not our intent at all. When we say something is wrong, it is not with a view to establish our supremacy, our superiority over the other. That is not at all we are not interested in establishing our superiority over the other at all. We are sadhakas, we are mumukshus. We have this vidya vinaya sampanna. We have vinaya, samadhamadi, guna sampat we have. We have viveka, or we grow in that. So we have vairagya, superiority. I am superior than you. No. That's not vairagya, definitely. That is raga, right? It is not vairagya, definitely. Therefore, it's not out of this ego issue, ego clash that we say we are superior. It is not the point. We look at our purushartha. Now, our means everyone's universal purushartha. Why does Shruti say that the prapancha is vivarta? Why? What for? Why should it say? For that matter, why should there be Shruti in the first place? Why should we? A lot of people don't even know that there is Shruti, right? There is Veda. A lot of people don't even know that. And why we should break our heads trying to agree with the Shruti, trying to see the Shruti? Why should we do that? People are living happily without ever knowing that there is a Rig Veda, there was a Shvetaketu. Without ever knowing, people are happy. Okay, why should we break our heads over this? Because we are doing, or we do Loka Pariksha. The others don't do Loka Pariksha. They don't. Pariksha Lokan. The Mundaka mantra is that we do Loka Pariksha. They don't do. Why people alone are happy? Dogs are happy, cats are happy, cows are happy in their own way. They also don't do Loka Pariksha. They are happy. But we do Loka Pariksha. And what is that? These people think that we are happy without it. And what is this happiness? What do they mean by happy? What is their understanding of happiness? As Swamiji today morning, satisfaction. What is this satisfaction? What is this happiness? What is it that I look for? What is it that I want? What is it that everybody wants? People don't look into, for them, ignorance, that partial ignorance or total ignorance of this issue is bliss. And that bliss is not a real bliss. It's I may say it is a Rajasa bliss or a Tamasa bliss. Not Satvika, it is not. For a water buffalo, getting soaked in slush is bliss. Bliss. It is bliss. For me it is not. Okay. Soaked in the mud, okay? It is bliss for the water buffalo. For me it is not. Of course there are people who do mud bath, etc. For treatment they do mud bath, okay? But even that is not bliss. Ask people who undergo mud bath, they really are itching, okay? They want to remove this mud. Of course it helps them all right, but it's not pleasant. Mud bath is not pleasant anyway. All right. So we look into this Purushartha, and as part of it, our arriving at this Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, as I said in the Gita, we look at we do Loka Pariksha, Pariksha Lokan, Nirvedamayat, Brahmanaha, Nasti Akritaha, Kritena, etc. A very, very important, one of the most important Shruti Vakyas in the Upanishads. Parikshalokan. Swamiji has talked on it very elaborately many times. If you can find time to listen to or read that portion, Parikshalokan part. Alright. So we do Loka Pariksha after a thorough Pariksha. After a thorough analysis, we understand what we are looking for, what everybody is looking for, directly or indirectly. The universal seeking, and this is the Purushartha, Parama Purushartha. Dharma, Artha and Kama, these are all relative Purusharthas, Vyavaharika Purusharthas. But they do not make a person free totally. In a limited way, yes, they do. A limited discovery of or experience of happiness in a limited way, yes, but not totally. The smallness remains. Even after I have all the artha, all the kama, even after I have all the fame, etc., still the incompleteness remains. As Narada says to Sanat Kumara in the Chandogya Upanishad 7th chapter, I know everything. I am not saying with it ego, not pride, not puffed up, not with pride I am saying, I know, it's a matter of, I know everything, yes. But still, Hey Bhagavaha, Hey Sanat Kumara, still I feel wanting. Saha aham shochami. Soham Bhagavaha shochami. Such me. I am very famous. I am learned. It's not out of, I really know. I am humble in saying that I know everything. Right? I know all this, I know. I am humble in saying that, but still I suffer. I am subject to shoka. Saha aham shochami. Then Sanat Kumara says, all these are all nama matram. Hey Narada, these are all nama matram. These are all nama matram. It is a nama rupa only. But then you have not known what is to be known. You are bhuma. Brahma is bhuma. Yo vai bhuma tat sukham. Na alpe sukham asti. In the finite there is no fulfillment. There is no satisfaction. There is no happiness in the finite. Alpe sukham na asti. But yo bhuma, what that is bhuma, that is Brahma, Atma, tat sukham, that indeed is sukham. What is said in the previous chapter of Chandogya, Sat Ekam Eva Advitiyam, that is said here as Bhuma, Atma, Brahma is Bhuma. That alone is Ananda. As said in the Taittiriya, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, then Anandam Brahma, Anandam Brahmeti Vyajanat. Brahma is Ananda, satisfaction, fulfillment, Purnatva. Okay? So, in the light of keeping Purushartha alone, Shruti is there. Purushartha Siddhyartham Hi Shastra Pravrittihi. Shruti Shastrasya Pravrittihi. That there is a Shastra is only to help a person, the human being, to discover Purushartha. Purushartha Siddhyartham Hi Shastra Pravrittihi. Shastrasya Pravrittihi. Upanishads are there to help us discover and own Purushartha, Parama Purushartha. So, the whole discussion of Srishti, etc. is part of our discovery of Purushartha. In the light of Purushartha alone, Shruti discusses the Srishti, not as a casual enquiry, not unconnected to, right, the Purushartha. Connected to Purushartha alone, the Shruti is there. That's what we are also doing. Our pravritti into Shastra is for Purushartha Siddhi only. If this is clear, then what Shruti says will be clear. It will be easy for us to understand what Shruti says if we understand that Shruti is a pramanam and it is the pravritti of the Shruti is for Purushartha Siddhi only. So, I gain Purushartha only when I discover the changeless, abiding truth principle. Brahma is the Nirvikari, Nityam, changeless. Then, if Brahma undergoes change, Ishvara undergoes change, and if Atma, I undergo change, then there is no way of my discovering Purnatva, limitlessness, Purnatva, there is no way of discovering. And then all my pravritti will not be useful. Any action will be useless, because anyway I am going to be incomplete, anyway I am going to suffer, anyway I am going to lose. I eat, I am hungry now, I eat. Why should you eat? Anyway I am going to be hungry after 4 hours now. Yeah, true. I am going to be hungry again. What is the point in eating? I will not eat. Any activity will be meaningless. Because there is no way of finding fulfillment. And the Shruti will not say Tat Tvam Asi, it will not say. It will say Tvam Nitya Samsari Asi, He Shvetaketo, Tvam Alpaha Asi, Tvam Samsari Asi. Okay? You are a samsari. Shvetaketu comes and says, Narada comes and says, Soham Bhagava Sochami. Oh Bhagavan, hey, oh revered sir, I am suffering. True, I am also say, Sanat Kumara would have said, no, yeah, true, I am also doing the same. Do you think that I am not suffering? Come, I'll weep on your shoulders, you cry on my shoulders, that's all we can do. Right? Shruti would say, Tvam Nitya Samsari Asi. Go. I have problems now. Go. I also have problems. Go. I want to solve your problems. Nothing doing. Go. I go to a doctor. Headache, toothache. Go. Nothing. No medicine. Nothing will cure you. Go. So, there is no. Any pravritti will become futile, purposeless. If Paramapurushartha is not a possibility for the jiva now. Okay. And the Paramapurushartha will be impossible if the jiva is Atma already, is Brahma already. Okay? Therefore, the Shruti says, Tat Tvam Asi. You are that Brahma which is Jagat Karanam. How I can be that Brahma? I am small. This smallness is Aupadika. Upadi. From the drishti of Upadi, you look small, Brahma is big, Ishvara is big, etc. You see yourself Karya, Brahma is, Ishvara is Karanam, etc. It's all Upadikam, but the Upadi is not your true description, right? It is Mayika, it is Avidyaka or Mayika. That does not describe you in your true nature. You are Nityam, Muktam, Brahma. It is there. Therefore, the very all discussion of Srishti, etc., even this, all these are all connected to the Purushartha Siddhi alone. So, the Srishti Prakriya is in the light of Purushartha Siddhi alone. So that I don't get waylaid by other incorrect ideas, incorrect pursuits, right? My life does not go waste. My time does not go waste in the pursuit of what will not reward, what is just not capable of giving me the gain, the Paramapurushartha. At the end of wrong pursuit, incorrect pursuit, I will only find that I have only wasted my time, my life, my energy. That's all. So, we are intelligent, we are very purposeful. Our allotted time is for pursuit of Purushartha and whatever that is relevant to Purushartha, connected to Purushartha alone. And therefore, the discussion of Srishti, etc. is in the light of Paramapurushartha alone. That is what Shruti does. Alright, we will stop here, we will continue. You please let me know whether Swamiji says that tomorrow you take time off, etc. If it is so, I will not come in the morning. Okay? So, it's up to you. It's up to you. Okay? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhai Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru